Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will be discussing about mechanical properties of engineering material. So this is the basic first topic what we did in our strength of material. So basically strength of material subject is the branch of physical science or the branch of mechanics actually, which deals with the behavior of deformable bodies. So if we study the behavior of rigid bodies either at rest or in motion, we call it as engineering mechanics. But here when we consider the deformations of the body, or indirectly when we say deformable bodies, we talk it as strength of material. So a deformable body is that whose what do you call distance between any 2 points on that body will be changing when we applied any load. So that's called as a deformable body. So for deformable bodies, the subject we call it as strength of materials or mechanics of solids. So out of this, in which the first topic what we will be discussing is mechanical properties of engineering materials. So before we get into the different types of mechanical properties what we encounter, first of all we should know what is an engineering material. So engineering material, how it is so called, or why it is so called as an engineering material, because engineering materials are those kind of materials which are used for all sort of engineering works, or which are used for construction, or which are used in designing part, or which are used for machines. You call them as engineering materials. So any material which is applicable for all engineering applications is called as a engineering material. Then what is mechanical properties of engineering materials? See, mechanical property of any material is the resistance of that material against loading, or it is the behavior of that particular material when it is subjected to some external forces or some external loading. So that's called as mechanical property. So when we take any sort of engineering material, say for example like steel or so, when it is subjected to any external kind of loading, how it is behaving, that is the meaning of mechanical properties of engineering materials. So whatever are the different kind of engineering materials we have, we tell some of the properties which we see most of the times in different kinds of engineering materials, so that on a whole I will cover all the mechanical properties and I'll explain them in detail also. So coming to the first mechanical property is strength. So first of all, what is strength? For any material we actually require strength. So what is strength? Strength is nothing but the ability of the material to resist the loading, or to resist the external force, or to withstand the load. That's called as strength. So the maximum load is a material can take before it fails is called as the ultimate load, and that load divided by the area on which the material the load is falling is called as load by area, which gives us the strength. Okay, so when we say this particular material is having greater strength, it means that it is able to withstand more loads, it is able to take greater load. If we say that this material is having low strength, it means that this particular material is failing at very less strength or very less loading. Next comes elasticity. So what is the meaning of elasticity? So it is nothing but the ability of the material to come back to its original position once the external load is released. Say, let's imagine there is a rubber band. So what we do is, when we extend the rubber band, obviously it keeps on stretching. Once we release it, it will come back, until when it is in its elastic zone. But once the elastic zone of the rubber band is also crossed, it will break. So when we say that this particular material is elastic in nature, when it is able to come back to its original position, even after applying some load, we remove the load, it will come back to its original position, it will resume its normal shape. Then we say it is a elastic material. Okay, so best examples are springs and rubbers. Next we have plasticity. So plasticity is just the inverse of elasticity. As I was telling the same rubber band example, when we stretch rubber band on either sides until the elastic limit is there, the rubber band will come back to its original position once you leave it. But once the elastic limit is crossed for the rubber band, once you release the load, before you release the load itself, the rubber band will break in your hands. So even with the spring also, so such type of thing is called as plasticity. So plasticity indirectly means it is the material property to undergo permanent deformation. So here the deformation cannot be taken back. The body doesn't come back to its original position even after you release the load, because its elasticity limit has been crossed and it has become plastic in nature. So it will not break, it will not fracture, but it will undergo permanent deformation which is not reversible. Examples are like clay and lead and also plastic. Next we have hardness. So what is hardness? So hardness is the ability of a material to resist scratching or cutting or penetration of its surface. So when we say that this particular surface or this particular material is hard, it means that it is not taking the scratching effect, or it is not taking the cutting effect, or it's not taking the penetration effect. Like best example is like diamond. So diamond, it is difficult to cut a diamond, or it is difficult to scratch, because nothing happens to its surface, because it is very hard in nature. So that sort of resistance offered by the material against such type of deformations is called as hardness. Okay. Next is number 5, which is toughness. So what is toughness? Toughness is the resistance of the material to withstand a sudden load, or a impact load, what we call, or a shocking load. Okay, so the intensity of the loading is all of a sudden. So when a material is taking this sudden load, you say it is tough. Otherwise it means it is having less toughness. For example, imagine there is a glass and on that I am dropping a big stone, so immediately it will break. So it means that when I am suddenly dropping a stone, it means that I am dropping a impact load. So the kind of loading falling on the glass is impact, so it's breaking. So it means it's not tough. So toughness is the ability of the material to resist impact kind of loading, sudden kind of loading. Okay, so best examples are like manganese, steel, wrought iron and mild steel. Next comes brittleness. As I have taken the same example of glass, brittleness. So glass is brittle in nature, means if I am applying a load, it is breaking very easily. It is converting into fragments very easily. Such tendency is called as brittle nature. So even at a very small load, the metal will break easily, the metal will rupture easily. That's called as brittleness. So glass and also concrete and cast iron and also chalk, all such things comes under example of brittle materials. Next is stiffness. So what is stiffness? So when we are talking about the word stiff, it means that it is the resistance against deflection. It is simply the resistance of a material, it is a property of a material to resist deflection. Like for example, if I consider this to be a particular beam, and if I apply any load from the top, it will deflect at the bottom. So if this material is not deflecting even under the application of the load, then we say that this material is having stiffness. So when we apply any load on a material, the material will deform, the material will deflect. So that resistance against deflection is called as stiffness. So such materials who do not deflect are called as, or deform, are called as stiff materials. Okay. Next comes ductility. So ductility is one important property what we observe generally in mild steel. So ductility is that material which is where the material can be cut or it can be drawn into thin wire shape. Means even a material can be drawn into a thin wire form. That's called as a ductile material. That property is a ductility property. So examples are like copper. We have copper wires, right? So copper, gold and mild steel and also bitumen, all are examples of ductile materials. So the next property is a malleable property, which is malleability. So when ductility is trying to take out the material in the form of a wire, then malleability will be taking the material in the form of a sheet. So if you are able to roll or hammer a particular material in the form of a sheet, then you call it as a malleable material. Likewise, aluminum sheets, we have copper sheets, we have lead sheets, we have GI sheets, like that. Even So when you are trying to make the material flat in the form of a sheet, you call it as a malleable material, and that property is called as malleability. The sheets can be of any sizes and any shapes, but if you are able to hammer it into a particular sheet shape, then you call it as a malleable material. And next, 10th one is tenacity. So tenacity is the resistance of the material against fracture or being broken into fragments. So when we say, for example, like she is a tenacious woman, means she doesn't break for, or her heart doesn't break for very smaller things. That's called tenacious behavior. So any material which will resist more fracture, then that's called as tenacious material. Next we have 11th property, which is resilience. So resilience is trying to absorb some energy into the material so that it can resist the loading. See, when we discussed the very first point called strength, we told that strength is the resistance offered by the material against external force, correct? So it means that when the body is offering internal resistance, or when it is offering some resistance against a loading, means from where this resistance is coming, that only is our resilience. So more is the resilience, more will be the strength, or load taking capacity of the material. So indirectly the amount of energy present inside a material is called as resilience. Next, 12th property, we have creep. So creep is the deformation undergone by the material when it is subjected to a continuous loading. So for example, if you take any iron table and you put some 10 kg weight on it and you leave it for 30 days. So after 31st day, when you come and take out that 10 kg weight, the iron table will have some deformation. So here, when you observe, for the 30 days, the 10 kg weight was continuous on the material. So when we're talking about strength, or when we talk about toughness like that, we say the loading is gradual or sudden, so it is not continuous. But now when we're talking about creep, it is a continuous loading, sustained loading. And remember one more point, creep cannot be observed immediately. Creep will take some time. So as I've taken the example of the iron table, so 30 days is a time gap, and after 30 days we could see that deformation. That's called as creeping action. So most you observe this creeping in concrete. And last is fatigue. So fatigue is the deformation of the material or damage of the material when it is undergoing some repetitive kind of loading. See, here in toughness the load was impact load, in creep the load was continuous all the time, but in fatigue it is repeated kind of loading, means the load is falling in the form of a cycle. Means, for example, if I take the same iron table, just for your understanding I'm telling you, so on that iron table, if I'm putting that 10 kg weight, so repeated cycle of stress means it's like I put the load only from morning 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and remove it. Next day morning 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So it's a repeated cycle like that. So that could be in the form of hours, or in the form of days or years, whatever. So the loading is cyclic in nature. Such material deformation which takes place when the loading is cyclic is called as fatigue. So even this fatigue failure is observed in concrete. So when the metal undergoes a fatigue failure, we can easily see the cracking of the surface. The metal completely doesn't fracture or break, but you can observe a progressive crack, which says that the metal has failed under fatigue. Okay, so these are the 13 important mechanical properties we need to have in our mind for a engineering material. So I hope you all understood the video. Thanks for watching.